Welcome to Siboga TV, which is the home of politics. When Uhuru Kenyatta handed over power in 2022, men thought it was the end of his political journey. The son of Jomo Kenyatta had served his 2 terms, left his state house, and retreated into quiet life. He was dismissed by critics as a former president with no influence, a man who had been rejected by his own backyard in Mount Kenya. But politics in Kenya is never truly finished, and now whispers grow louder. Uhuru Kenyatta could be plotting a dramatic comeback into national politics, this time not as a candidate, but as a kingmaker. And the man he may throw his weight behind is not other than Fred Okengo Matiang'i, the former Interior Cabinet Secretary. The question is simple but powerful. Can Uhuru Kenyatta make Fred Okengo Matiang'i president? Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency was defined by both achievement and controversies. He oversaw massive infrastructure projects, road, ports, energy expansion, but he also left behind a legacy of ballooning debt, international political betrayal, and divided Mount Kenya. In 2022, Uhuru endorsement of Raila Odinga had collapsed spectacularly. His backyard deserted him, choosing William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua instead. For the first time, Uhuru stood as a leader without followers in central Kenya. Yet, Uhuru still holds 3 advantages for Kenya's politician can ignore. Money, he remains one of the wealthiest figure in the country. Networks, for regional power broker, for international allies. And Uhuru Redux is unmatched. Experience, he knows how to run campaigns, how to cut deals, and how to survive political storms. For Uhuru, returning into national politics as a kingmaker could restore his lost influence and rewrite his legacy. Fred Matiang'i is not yet ordinary politician. He did not climb through the traditional ranks of MPs, governors. Instead, he emerged as a technocrat, first as Education Cabinet Secretary, then as the powerful interior post. Known as a no-nonsense administrator, Matiang'i built a reputation for discipline, efficiency, and loyalty to the presidency. During Uhuru's second term, he became the president enforcer, often overshadowing over the deputy president. But when William took office, Matiang'i found himself in a cold. He was investigated, harassed, and eventually retreated from public life. Yet for many Kenyans, Matiang'i remains a figure of respect, a man seen as incorruptible, hardworking, and tough. Now if Kenyatta choose to back him, Matiang'i could be trusted from the shadows into the center of the 2027 political battlefield. So, how could Uhuru try to make Matiang'i president? The first thing, reviving Jubilee structures. Through weekend Jubilee party still exists. With Uhuru's finances and networks, it could be rebranded as Matiang'i's political vehicle. 2. Building Mount Kenya's Gusii Alliance. Uhuru brings Central Kenya, Matiang'i brings Gusii forts. Together, they can reassemble a regional bloc that could challenge Ruto and Gachagua's dominancy. 3. National opposition unity. By aligning with the likes probably Raila Odinga and other opposition leader, Uhuru packaged Matiang'i as a compromised candidate, someone less popularizing than Raila, but still strong enough to rally opposition support. International packing. Uhuru remains influence in a global circle, especially within the East Africa community and Western allies. Matiang'i's image as a disciplined administrator could be appealing to donors and foreign partners. But the road is not easy. Several challenges stand in the way of Uhuru and Matiang'i's plan. Mount Kenya resistance. Many in the mountain have not forgotten Uhuru for betraying Ruto in 2022 and for impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. Convincing them to follow his lead again will be a uphill battle. 2. Matiang'i's lack of grassroots machinery. Unlike career politicians, Matiang'i has never built a personal network of MPs, MCAs, and governors. Without grassroots mobilization, he risks being seen as an outsider. Ruto and Gachagua counter-attack. The UDA machinery is strong. Ruto and Gachagua will fight tooth and nail to discredit both Uhuru and Matiang'i, but showing them as a symbol of the past. Raila factor. Will Raila support Matiang'i or insist of his own candidacy or of endorsing William Samoei Arap Ruto? Uhuru's plan depends heavily on whether Raila is willing to step aside and not to support William Samoei Arap Ruto. The truth is, Uhuru alone cannot make anyone president. Not anymore. His 2022 humiliation proved that political power in Kenya is not guaranteed by money or legacy. But Uhuru can do 3 things that can make Matiang'i visible. 1. He can finance the campaign. 2. He can broker alliances across regions. 3. He can use his status to convince Raila, Kalonzo, and others to rally behind Matiang'i presidency. If this happens, Matiang'i could emerge as a surprising consensus candidate, the safe pair of hands, alternatively to both Raila, Kalonzo, and others. But will the people accept him? That is the question. In conclusion, Uhuru Kenyatta may have left his state house, but his story is not over. By backing Fred Matiang'i for the presidency, he seeks to relight his legacy, transforming from a rejected leader into a kingmaker who delivers Kenya's next head of state. Will he succeed? Will Matiang'i, the once powerful interior CS, rise from political exile to become Kenya's next commander-in-chief? The 2027 elections will tell. But one thing is clear, Uhuru Kenyatta is not done. The Prince of Dynasty is plotting a return. And if his bet on Fred Matiang'i pays off, it could change the course of Kenya's political forever.